What's up, y'all? JTTB in the building again. How's everybody doing? You know what this video is about, as you can see in the title. 3 weeks in. Actually, we're on 4 weeks. How can Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman? Now, like I said, these are both my two favorite fighters of all time. So, I am unbiased because either one wins to me. I'm fine with the outcome either way. So, this is how Manny Pacquiao, now with the information we know, a month in. Let's roll this window up. Let's get into it. Now, we've seen the training camp of each. Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Correct? Correct. We've seen how they're training. Correct? Correct. Now, the consensus right now is Keith Thurman doesn't look like he's training that hard. Okay. So, the way Manny Pacquiao is training is extraordinary. Okay. And maybe the sprained ankle and everything wasn't true. Who knows? That we don't know. Nor does it matter. Because he's out here training how he's supposed to be training. You dig? So, how can Manny Pacquiao win this fight against Keith Thurman? Now, let's right off the bat, we're gonna look at what's he giving up. He's giving up height. He's giving up reach. He's giving up weight. Even though they're at the same weight class, they're not gonna weigh the same on the night. Okay, they're not gonna weigh the same on the night. Pacquiao on the night will probably be at 148, 149. Keith Thurman might damn be 170 in the fucking ring. Who? You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman's going to rehydrate something ridiculous. And I take that in consideration. What you also got to take into consideration is the drain that Keith Thurman is going to be more drained than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao doesn't struggle to make weight. Right? So that starts to affect your cardio system and your stamina when you drop weight, all that, and going up and down and up and down. You know, it makes it hard if you have to run even harder. And I'm hearing Pacquiao's running, what, 16 miles? And then shadow boxing after this. Like, the regimen that Pacquiao's on is something else. The level is definitely, like I said, I've never seen Pacquiao train like this. You know, this is really something special. Now, Keith Thurman is a very crafty fighter. I should know. I watch a lot of it. Very smart in the ring. He's not a volume puncher, and I keep telling people that. He's not a volume puncher at all. So his fight is not going to, you're not going to get hit with a lot of shots fighting Keith Thurman. You're going to get hit with hard shots, but not a lot of them. And if you are pressuring him, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like to fight on the inside, which that's where Pacquiao is going to be fighting, and he doesn't like that because we can see that against the Sean Porter fight. Doesn't like the inside. Okay. But also is a great counterpuncher. And yes, I would say that Keith Thurman is a better counterpuncher. They counter different, though. They really counter different. Pacquiao likes to counter you. He likes to freeze you and then hit you. Where Keith Thurman he wants you to engage with an actual swing. And that's where when you go wide, he goes short. That's what it's a different type of countering. They like to counter differently, so I can't really say. They're good at different ways of countering differently. But for the stylistic way that is going to go, I'm still going to have to favor Keith Thurman when it comes to the counterpunch. Like I said, he doesn't throw many punches, so maybe he catches him with more counter punches or more percentage of counter punches, but Manny has a high volume of punches, so he may catch him a couple more times. You know, you can kind of think about it as like if it was basketball, as if we're going to count counter punches, it's like, let's count them as assists. So if you have a point guard, a really good point guard, he may get those assists really fast because he puts high volume passes. Pacquiao is a high volume passer. Now, Keith Thurman would be a passer, but the pass is going to be at the right place at the right time. It might not be as many passes, but the passes are just as important as a lot of passes. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you can have a less volume of passes, or in this case, counterpunches, but they were at a specific time in the round that can win the round. And I think Keith Thurman is better than that. Better at that than Pacquiao is. Pacquiao's more of trying to win off of hurting you. Keith Thurman used to worry about hurting you, but now he's more worried about just getting the win. And that's what's kind of dangerous in this fight, going into the ring, fighting the last. I'll say ever since after he was champion, he fights just to win the fight, just to keep the belt. Pacquiao fights like he wants to hurt you if you had the belt or not. All right? So, difference in mentality is that. One is a more Floyd, I just want to win the fight, and one is somebody, I want to hurt this guy. And win the fight. Just want to hurt you too, though. And that's Pacquiao. But that's what makes him an exciting fighter, and that's why we all want to watch Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. And the last thing I want to say is another reason I think Manny Pacquiao could win this fight is seeing the motivation. We hear the motivation from Keith Thurman, but we seeing the motivation in Pacquiao. Even at 40 years old, there can be an upset. And Keith Thurman, I think he needs to start looking more into Pacquiao. He's looking over Pacquiao like, I'm going to put this boy to sleep. I think you need to do, I mean, who knows how much studying he's doing on Pacquiao, but I hope it's enough, because you're going to need it. These are certain ways that I think Pacquiao can win this fight. JTTV! And I'm out.